So I just wanted to talk a little bit about base running in this game. This is the series opener between the Orioles and the Mets on August 4th. I thought base running really highlighted this game. I thought it was really important in this game, and I thought the tone was set early after this Francisco Lindor at bat. I thought the Orioles did a really good job running the bases, and I thought maybe they stole a couple runs that other teams don't get, or maybe that they shouldn't have got, maybe that the Mets shouldn't have let them get, but it really helped. It really helped them get ahead early in the game, and it helped push them ahead later in the game. And you see Lindor works a full count and gets a pitch he can handle and absolutely smacks it into left center field for a double. Lindor's got speed, and now he's in scoring position with 2 outs, and you have Alonso up, one of your best hitters, someone who led the league in RBIs last year, and you're in scoring position. You have a chance to make something happen for your team, especially the Mets are bad when they let the other team score first, and Kramer is susceptible to letting up runs in the first inning. But if you see Lindor on the bottom right, he just goes, and Kramer, he steps off and throws him out at third, and I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know why you're trying to get to third base. It's really an unnecessary risk to take. There's not a lot of upside. You are already in scoring position, as Palmer just said too. I mean, you have a great hitter up. You have a good chance to do damage early, and you kind of just take the bat out of his hands. You see Buck kind of just looking anxious and upset. It's not a smart play to make. You are risking a lot for not a lot of upside. It's one of the carnivals of baseball. Don't make the last out at third base because you're already in a good position to score, and instead you just let the opposing pitcher off the hook. He thinks he has Kramer timed up, but he doesn't. It's just a terrible play. So I thought the Orioles did a really good job in the 4th inning of running the bases, and it starts with this Austin Hayes at bat. He gets this little slider, and he takes it for ball 4, and I just think it's a good at bat because Hayes has been struggling, and he needs a walk like that. He doesn't walk a ton, but he saw the ball well in that bat. Next up is Jordan Westberg, and he just smacks a single. That's just a well-hit single, and now it's 1st and 2nd with nobody out, and Ryan O'Hearn is up, and I think O'Hearn is kind of the MVP of this inning, especially when it comes to base running. He grounds one to second, long throw for McNeil, bad turn by Lindor, and O'Hearn hustles all the way. Props to him. You hear Jim Palmer say right here,
they really do. Even if you're not the fastest guy, get down the line.
They get down the line. Even if you're not fast, they hustle. And Brandon Hyde has these guys buying into that, and that is what you love to see. You also see Lindor get nothing behind the throw. He uses all arm. He doesn't step into it. I know there's a runner coming into you, but you have got to clear the runner, step into the throw, and make a good throw to first base and get this out. But instead he lets O'Hearn beat it, and it could easily be runner on third with 2 outs, but instead it's 1st and 3rd with 1 out, which opens up a lot more for your puts a lot of pressure on your defense and opens up a lot of opportunities for your offense. So now I've seen this next strategy employed by Brandon Hyde quite a bit this year. If there's a 3-2 count with a runner on first, regardless of how many outs there are, regardless of who's on first, he's going to send the runner and just trust that more times than not the hitter is going to make contact with the ball or is going to draw a walk, and they'll avoid the double play. The runner on first, he's going to trust that he gets a good lead, good jump, and put some pressure on the defense to make a play. And also, it is hard for the pitcher to hold the runner and the catcher to hold the runner while also focusing on making a good pitch. And oftentimes, these 3-2 pitches with runners on base are in leverage situations or runners in scoring position. Important moments in the game. You see O'Hearn go, you see Urias just whiff at that pitch, and you see that they have no intention of ever throwing to second. I don't know if they're worried about the runner on third coming home or they're just conceding that they're going to give up another runner in scoring position. But you see Alvarez never even thinks about throwing. He's on his knee. He never gets up. He never looks at throwing. And it's important because McCann sends this next first pitch right back up the middle, and they're not going to throw him out from center field. So O'Hearn scores. It could have easily been a 1-run single, but instead, because of O'Hearn's hustle, because of Hyde employing that strategy of running on a 3-2 count, they get an extra run out of it. They squeeze another run out of it, and it's important because in the top of the 6th inning, Kramer gives 2 runs back, but now it's a tie game, and you got O'Hearn up again with Westberg on first. Westberg, by the way, 92nd percentile speed guy, underrated speed guy according to Baseball Savant. People don't talk about how fast he is, but there's no 1 count to O'Hearn, and Westberg is going to be actually running on this pitch, and O'Hearn is going to get a little, I think he gets a fastball on the inside part of the plate, and he just kind of dumps it into right field. And you see Marte kind of just pull up at the end. I mean, he looks like he's close to it. He just pulls up, and Westbrook just never really stops. And bad relay home. They draw the catcher off the line. I think that's McNeil. I don't think that's a good. I think they could have made that play closer. I don't know if they have a shot at Westberg there, but they could have made the play close. I also like to think Marte could have put a little more effort into that. It looked like he was pretty close to the ball and then just gave up on it. But great hustle by Westberg. That's the highlight of this, really. I mean, O'Hearn just dumps a single into right field, and Westberg is able to score from first base on a single. As you see, he's already at second base by the time the ball's hit pretty much, and then he stops. He makes sure Marte's not going to catch it, picks up the third base coach, and he just hustles all the way home. Like I said, underrated speed guy. He actually has some speed, and I like that moment from Brandon Hyde. I think he's yelling at Colin Cowser to get on the field because he told him pinch run. He's like, go, god damn it, get out there. And this, of course, is a super important play by Westberg because this is a go-ahead run in a 2-2 ball game, and he is able to push the run across by just using some speed, utilizing some smart base running, and putting some pressure on the defense to make a play, which they do not do. Now, after a Urias single, McCann comes up, and McCann just gets a hanging slider, and he is having a day against his former team. He crushes this into left field. That's another double, and you see Urias actually runs through a stop sign, but Lindor is caught flat-footed again. Another mental error. I just think mentally he was not in this game, and he made the play a lot closer than it had to be, and the umpire calls him safe. I think this is one of those plays where it probably isn't overturned regardless because they do challenge it and the call is upheld, but I think if the umpire called him out, they probably would have upheld it too. It was really hard to see whether it looked like they tagged him on the hip, but it also looked like his foot was on top of home plate. It was just really hard to see what was happening. But you see Lindor here, double clutches. He gets caught. He transfers all the weight to his front foot after he pumps the first time, and then he's just caught flat-footed and he makes a bad throw to home plate. There's not a lot on it. If he throws it the first time, it's an out he should have made. It's an out. They give up a run unnecessarily because of a mental error by Lindor again, and it looks just like Lindor is not ready to throw the ball here. It looks like when he comes up, he thinks that he's just going to pocket it, that Urias is going to stick at third, but instead Urias is running and it catches him by surprise, and he's just not ready to throw the ball. You see, it looks like he gets him on the hip, but it also looks like Urias' left foot might be on top of the plate at that point. So it's just a really hard call to make right there. So then McKenna comes up, and I actually thought this was a really good decision by McCann. It's a calculated risk. You're up by 3 runs, so you are allowed to play a little bit aggressive, but he tries to steal third. And the difference, if you hear Palmer say he got Lindor disease, but the difference between this and the Francisco Lindor event is there is 1 out in this situation. So it allows you to take a risk. Having a runner on third base with 1 out is way more important than having a runner on third base with 2 outs, because a runner on third base with 1 out makes the infield play in, especially when you already have a 3-run lead. It puts a lot more pressure on the infield. It gives a lot of advantages to the offense. It also allows you to score on sacrifice fly. It allows you to score on some ground balls. It allows you to score on non-hits. So it's definitely advantageous to try and take third with less than 2 outs. Actually, I do think they make the right call here. They overturn it. I think McCann is safe because Beatty kind of misses the tag. He doesn't tag him until he gets him on the right foot. But by the time he gets his right foot, it looks like McCann's left foot is on the base because his foot's on the base there, and then he tags him. And then his right foot's on the base when his left foot leaves, and then his right foot's on the base until his hand's on the base, and Beatty's not even tagging him anymore. So I think they make the right call here. As you see, his left foot's on the base, and then Beatty tags him, and then his right foot's on the base, and then Beatty kind of pulls the tag away. So I think it ends up being a good decision, a good risk taken by McCann, because he gets himself onto third base with 1 out, and it forces the infield in. They actually end up walking McKenna, maybe trying to set up a double play. But then you're also facing Adley Rutschman, and I think Reed Garrett's just kind of losing it because on a 3-1 pitch to Adley Rutschman, he absolutely crushes this ball, but he just misses it to dead center. But McCann is allowed to score, and again, I just think it highlights the stupidity of the Lindor decision, because McCann actually timed up the pitcher well. He ran the bases well. He made a better decision contextually because there was only 1 out instead of 2 outs, and I think this whole game kind of highlighted how bad that Francisco Lindor decision was, as McCann was able to steal another run with some good base running. And the Orioles go on to win it 10-3, helped in large part by those runs that they were able to score and steal away by some good base running.